So here we are. We've got my packet for the week. It's a not too big update this week, I guess. Let's see. Get these receipts out of here. Just to the side. We've got what should be the 5 titles and. And I guess we've got an order. So, we've got the 15th Pokemon movie, Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice. Oh, of course, that thing. And then we got those two guys. The, alternative form things. Alright. It's a simple update, but it's nice to still get Pokemon. And the movies are really easy to keep up on. Especially when you only have to watch one of them as opposed to the previous one in which there were 2 versions of. Nice and simple. Next up, we got Tokyo Magnitude 8.0. 11 episodes, so it's an 11 episode series, and this is all 11 episodes. Of course, as a well, it's made in Japan, so maybe Section 23 release instead of Hentai Filmworks. It's a 3-disc release. The name seems familiar, so I have to admit I'm pretty intrigued by it. Now I say it's maybe not Sentai, but I don't know how certain that is, because I think both Section 23 and Sentai broke off from ADV, so I don't know how related they are. Unless I'm mistaken. Why did I think that Made in Japan was Sentai? Then we got a Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan. Yeah, and then these are vids, which has a girl thing maybe on the back. A bit androgynous. Could be a girl, could also be a guy, I guess, who looks really effeminate. Kind of hard to tell right now, not having watched it, kind of lacking context. And unlike Tokyo Magnitude, let's open the Blu-ray at the same time. So that we can take a look. And simple, and it looks like the Blu-ray discs have the same artwork on them. Alright, nice and simple. And there's 2 more items. Phi-Brain Season 1 Collection 1 arrived earlier this week. All I know about this is I heard somebody say it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! But with puzzles or something, and I don't know how accurate that is, but I figured I might as well pass on that potential misinformation in case it is or is not accurate. And then a hentai title, Don't Tell My Mom I'm a Whore, which is actually another adult source media. See, ASM, adult source media. It's another adult source media compilation of scenes from random stuff. But yeah, other than that, this week's anime, yeah, I know it's small compared to the last couple of weeks. I think it was potentially a little pricey, so I played this week carefully. There we go. Well, let's see. I watched a bunch of random things. I watched the first 2 Inuyasha movies. Now, I've seen the first one before, so this was a rewatching, and I think it was actually a good idea that I did that, because, well, those movies are so very Inuyasha, and I don't mean that in a bad or good way. It really depends on the context under which you want to understand it. But if you were to compare that to, like, say, the Naruto or the Bleach movies, I would say that the Inuyasha movies are kind of better because they work out better. Most of the Dragon Ball movies probably suffer similar problems in terms of relevance, whereas in Inuyasha, it's like, yeah, they make it relevant. Now, originally, I was afraid of watching the second movie until I knew where the series went, because it sounded like the second movie was maybe about something that happened during the series, like it took place after a certain point in the series, and so I didn't want to watch it till that point had happened, but of course that point never happened, and so the description for movie 2 is rather confusing, because they're describing something that happens in the movie itself. I didn't have a chance to watch movies 3 and 4, though. I did, however, watch, so there's a Wizard of Oz anime, and I bought 4 movies that were constructed from the canonical material from the series for the 4 respective books it represents. So basically, an anime version of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and then an anime version of The Marvelous Land of Oz. We were going to watch more than that, but I got a bit distracted kind of poking around the Naruto DVDs, trying to kind of categorize them, understand where everything is on those, and that's time consuming, and it kind of reminded me of why you can get into Naruto, but why you can be so disappointed with it at the same time. Because going through it, it's like, yeah, I don't care what this disc has, I don't care what this disc has, I don't care what this disc has. And you do that for most of the series until you're like, oh my, this one part right here, that was really fucking awesome. I guess I also don't care a whole lot for many of the openings and endings, but some of them might be okay, I guess. Other than that, it's probably just a bunch of other random one-off things. Not really making progress watching new series. I guess I was just making progress rewatching 7 of 7, which is not really a spectacular, awesome series, but more like an amusing, fun little romp through this setup they have, I guess. Which I guess you could say I also like about it, and because the character designs are somewhat unique, I guess. If you've ever watched Sergeant Frog, I believe the character designer was for both of those, and to a certain degree, I guess you could say that the reason I appreciate it is because when I watch Sergeant Frog, I'm like, wait a second, I recognize these character designs. And when I'm like, oh yeah, definitely 7 of 7, and it looked like they hadn't done anything else, and I don't know, that was kind of something to appreciate for some reason. I don't know why. Huh. Oh well. Well then, what did I do other than that? I know I watched all 11 episodes of Bravest Warriors, and that's a pretty amusing series. I'm not surprised. And I know I rewatched a bunch of Shiki when my brother was over on the weekend. And what to say about that? Oh, it's very compelling. Very, very compelling series. Well, I guess I can't remember anything else, so that's about it. A shout out to excuse me, the DVD collection people who are kind of watching me do this, but I've got them muted so they don't even know I'm doing this. But that would be Beefcake, Candy Charles, Commander Quesadilla, The Fat Kid for Life, and Wilson Lives. Hey y'all. And as for y'all, that Gurren Lagann Blu-ray set is pretty damn expensive. The one that's been announced for like a June release, I think. But I'll plan on getting it because it looks like it's got dub in some places and English subtitles. Others, I think. Beyond that, yeah, just next week's release is kind of small, so of course I'm padding that with old stuff that I'm catching up on. And that wish list is now down to a single page, so should be interesting. And since the DVD collection gift exchange is happening right now, y'all can probably expect something to happen within the next month related to that, I guess. But until that happens, y'all have a nice week.